Welcome to You're Probably Right, the space for straight talk about life, love, and the choices that shape who we are. No filters, no fluff, and no pretending it's easy. Just real stories, honest questions, and maybe the truth you didn't know you needed. Got something on your mind? Email us at yprpodcast@gmail.com. Now, let's get into it.
I'm just joking with you. What's up, y'all? This is MCM, and you're listening to You're Probably Right. Before I start, I want to let you listen to this also.
This is You're Probably Right. Entertainment first, everything else is just bonus. Opinions, all ours. Sometimes backed by research, but never the final word. There are always exceptions, so take it with a grain of salt and a slight dusting of chili powder.
I know it's nonsense. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm just saying. I'm just hanging out with you, just a friend, and I'm just talking to you. Just look at it like that. So maybe this friend is a total idiot, and everything I do or everything I've said, you should do in the opposite way. That's fine with me. You're probably right. Anyhow, we're back to 15 signs your partner doesn't actually love you, part 2. This one's going to be slightly different. And if you listen to the first one, you'll understand how I mean that it's going to be not totally different, but just slightly different. I'm not going to drag it out as much, but it could still end up being just as long. But I mean, you would know that because you could just tell by how long this one is and how long the first one was. Okay, there we go. Welcome back. In part 1, we covered signs 1 to 5 that your partner may not really care as much as you think, or love you, whatever. If you missed it, check it out first. Today we're picking back up and it's 6 to 10. These are everyday patterns to watch for, explained in plain language with examples. Well, that's another thing. That's what's changed in this episode. I'm not going to probably give as many, at least written ones anyway. Anyway, and what it can feel like. Remember, hearing these things isn't easy, but you deserve honesty, respect. So let's get down. Let's get down with it. All right. Sign 6. They're very protective over their phone or computer and won't share the password. Now, the only thing I'm going to say with this is that it's possible that you did something. If the last time you guys got into an argument, you happened to call a random person and embarrass them, they might have put a password on their phone because of your behavior. So if it's your behavior, realize it's not a red flag because that's you. That's you gotta hold that. And as guys would say back in the 90s, I'm playing basketball and score on them. You throw the ball at them after you score on them and say, hold that. You gotta hold that, okay? Okay, so here we go. Your partner refuses to let you anywhere near their devices. They change passwords, hide their phone when you're not, when you are around. Maybe they go in the shower and everything's on lockdown, so they know you're going to be rifling through their stuff, or get upset if you even ask. Maybe they lock the screen when you walk by, or stash their laptop in another room. In small doses, we all have privacy, but if it's extreme, it's a red flag. For example, imagine they've got a new text tone and won't let you peek or ask who's texting. When you raise it, they snap. It's none of your business, even though everyone normally shares passwords in a close relationship. You know, what if you're out conscious and someone needs to get into your phone to, find something and you got everything locked down and your password used to be 1234 and now it's Bosco. Being this secretive can leave you feeling hurt and suspicious. You might find yourself worrying, what are they hiding from me? It's understandable to feel anxious or excluded. A lot of trust in relationship is a built-in transparency. In fact, most couples end up sharing passwords after a while. Experts say if someone in a long-term relationship is reluctant to do that, it could be a red flag. In other words, if your partner's phone always feels like Fort Knox and they won't explain why, it might mean they're keeping something private or simply don't trust you. That kind of secretive behavior can undermine the closeness you deserve. And trust me, if I would never get in another relationship with a person who won't share their password and like, or they're hiding from me with the phone, or they go in another room, or they go outside to have certain kind of conversations all the time, nah. And people might say, well, it's a conversation with my mother. What do you have to do with it? Like, nothing. But it just, I'm just, that's me personally. Like, you guys can do whatever it is you want to do around that phone. But I've realized if I'm with someone and they need that type of secrecy when it comes to their phone, deuces. I don't have time for it. And for whatever the reason is, honestly, that's just me. Just giving you some real, when it comes to me anyway. All right. Number 7. They won't share a bank. See, we're getting right. This one's going boom, bang, boom. I might be able to make number 3, just put it in with 2, but let's see. Okay. Okay. They won't share a bank account even if you're married. Now, I understand again, if you've been blowing through money like a whirlwind and you've been cutting through your money like that, and they're probably gonna be worried maybe you're gonna cut through what they're earning as well. They may not trust you because it's something that you've done. That's a different story, okay? All right. So you have to show trust to get trust, right? You have to earn it because it's money. It's not other stuff. Okay. So finances are a major part of life together. And how you handle money says a lot about, your trust. When you say, I do, many couples at least open one joint account for shared bills. But if your partner flat out refuses, insists on keeping everything separate, it could signal a lack of commitment or transparency. For example, you bring up the idea of a joint account for household expenses and they brush you off. We don't need that, or get defensive. If money matters are strictly divided and they never offer to combine even one bill, it can feel like they're keeping you at an arm's length. And to tell you the truth, they most likely are. It's kind of like that whole thing about what's it called? The prenuptial agreements. There's been a lot of people going back and forth about that. But really, I don't think there should be an issue. I mean, if I would sign one, if somebody wanted me to sign one, I think I would sign it. Because even though there's a prenuptial agreement, it's not that you leave necessarily with everything you came with, because usually there's a divide with everything that you guys put together, and there's different ways of structuring them. People just get scared and say, okay, this person just wants to have fun with me and take off with all their money and leave me in the lurch trying to figure it out after. It's not necessarily like that. But I think if you're getting in with trust, I think whatever makes the other person feel easy about whatever it is, I think you guys should be able to get it done with. And if the person can't trust anybody, and that's going to include you, then you have to really think, is this the person for me? Right? Simple and plain. This often makes you feel like you're not truly a part of the team. You might worry that they're not fully invested in your or our future, or wonder why they want to hold on to money like a safety net instead of sharing it. And who knows, maybe they came from a really rough, tough upbringing where they hardly had anything, and maybe they've always promised themselves that they'd never be poor again. And you've shown that you waste money. If that is something that has to do with your pattern, you have to be understanding again. You maybe have to move on the money thing probably very slowly. Okay. Money issues can be sensitive, but joint finances are usually about partnership. Financial experts note that sharing an account increases transparency. You both see where every dollar is going. Okay. And research supports the idea that pooling money builds stronger bonds. One study found married couples who pool their money have a higher relationship satisfaction, and are more likely to stay together. All right. Now, every couple's different, right? Separate accounts alone aren't always a deal breaker. Some have a mix of joint and personal accounts, which most people do, right? Most people have their little savings, and then their spouse has their little savings, and then they have one that they pull most of the money together. And sorry, there's some of us who don't like to be surprised, or some people who like surprises, or people who can't take surprises. And if your spouse is responsible for buying you a gift on your birthday, and you could just pull up the account and say, oh, okay, I got this tie from this place, and they got me a couple gift cards from the drugstore, and you want some things to be like, I don't mind their own personal whatever, but there should be a point where you're joining something together. Otherwise, something's off. I don't know what it is. And maybe you could be sitting there saying, no, we have this thing set down and it's all cool with both of us. And it always has been. I don't know, have a conversation. Is it really cool with both of you? And is that just both of you as in you from your standpoint? Or do you really both think it's cool? All right. But a partner who insists on keeping finances totally separate without discussing it can leave you feeling untrusted. You might feel hurt or anxious, like you're just a roommate, like you're just a cousin, not a spouse. Money is supposed to be one way we team up. So if that door is slammed shut with 2 locks put on it, it's worth asking why, if you don't know why. All right. Number 8, they act better with others than they do with you, and they say, just accept me. All right. A healthy partner tries to be kind to you first and to everyone else too. But if you notice they've gone one face for the world and another for you, that's troubling. For example, your partner is polite and charming when out with friends, greeting new people, giving compliments, making jokes, but at home, they snap at you for small little things, call you lazy, or tune you out. When you call them out on it, they shrug it off. This is who I am. You knew that. You just need to accept it. Then if you've ever, I'm just saying, if you've ever heard that, my heart goes out to you. That is horrible. This is who I am. You knew that before we got into this. Just accept it. Oh, I couldn't imagine. I honestly couldn't imagine. And you probably did know that. Or maybe you didn't because love was blind. Who knows? They thought you knew it. You didn't know. Now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. You guys got some major talking to do. Because this person needs to care. And this person can't be talking to you any type of way when you're by yourselves, and then all of a sudden they're fake and acting like everything is perfect and you're the Instagram couple in front of everyone, and then you're something else at home by yourselves. All I can tell you is, no thanks. All right. Remember, this episode is for entertainment purposes only, guys. Don't kill the messenger. Sorry. Let me just get some water here. Ice water is crazy. All right. I got ice in my mouth. Sorry. Okay. This double standard feels like getting the short end of the stick. You're left wondering why they can muster patience and niceness around strangers or coworkers, but not with you. It might feel like you're less important than the person behind the counter they complimented today, thanks for the coffee. Or than the stranger that let them cut in line. Emotionally, this can hurt badly. You might think, if they love me, why can't they treat me even half as well as they treat others? You might start feeling unwanted, or that you don't measure up. They're obviously just taking you for granted, treating you like a second class citizen. It's not okay to dismiss you by saying love means accepting all of my flaws and take me as I am. Everyone has flaws, we understand that, but using that as an excuse to be nicer to others than you, totally unfair, totally uncalled for, and in my opinion, disgusting. You deserve your partner's best self, not their half self. Not only when they're out showing off, but especially at home, where it matters the most. Love from the inside, guys, not from the outside in. As one relationship writer puts it, when someone is nicer to strangers than to their spouse, the spouse can begin to question whether love is real or that love is real. In other words, seeing all the kindness they give out there and not to you makes your heart really ache. So, and I understand that I was kind of giggling and sniggling about it, but it's just like I just couldn't imagine. And not that it's never like happened to me with family. Maybe you've noticed your parents do that as well, or whatever it is. It's just not nice. There's nothing else, nothing else to put to it or to sugarcoat it. It's just not nice. You want to be treated as good or better than the people outside of your home. You're the one that's beside them through everything. You're the one, if something happens, is going to take care of them. Why would they treat others outside of the home better than you? I understand that sometimes you have to put on the work voice, maybe. I know some people do that. I have decided I don't do that. So who you going to get me? You're going to get me at work this way. You're going to get me at home this way. The same thing. But some people do have a work voice. Maybe they jump on the phone, or they have a way that they talk in the neighborhood to the neighbors. But I'm sorry, if that's what they're doing, understand that sweetness must be at home as well. And if they're just being fake out there, then maybe they need to back off it. Maybe, instead of giving all that fakeness outside of the house, maybe just tell them to be themselves. If they feel grumpy, they don't have to say, "Hey, Bob, you want to borrow the lawnmower?" You know what I mean? Like, just be themselves. And then you don't have to feel so funny. If you understand that they're being fake and they understand that they're being fake, maybe tell them to just back off and just be themselves. Maybe somebody can help them with some of that they're going through, But again, you probably did know that that's the way they are. And you decided to take them as they are, right? Knowing that they were a grumpy Gus in the first place. And now it's starting to chap you a little bit because you're realizing you're going to live with this for the next 50 years and you're wondering if you can do it. It's sad. I feel for you, really. I do. Okay. Sign number 9. They regularly embarrass you in public. Whether on purpose or not, your partner should never make you feel small in front of others. And I understand sometimes you've done stuff and they're still bitter over it, and for some reason they want to bite back at you in front of people and embarrass you. Even if it's happened once, it shouldn't be a regularity. You shouldn't be walking on eggshells, walking in the mall because you don't know if your spouse is going to flip on you in front of people and embarrass you. Never okay. But if they frequently belittle you or make jokes at your expense when you're with friends or family, take note. That's disrespect. And you need to pull them up when you guys get alone on that day. Don't pull it up 2 weeks later while you're, you know what I mean? Like, address it as soon as possible when you're by yourselves. You don't have to in turn pull them up in front of people. You wait out of respect when you're alone and say, you know what? I didn't like when you did this and when you said that and when you made this joke about me and blah, 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 blah. Make sure they know, right? They should understand that if their behavior isn't nice, when you get home, you're going to have a conversation. And if they just have an issue that way or a problem that way, then they should also have a inkling in their mind that, if I embarrass her while we're out or I embarrass him, then understand that he's probably going to pull me up when we get home and everything's not going to be all hunky-dory, as they say. when you get home, a bed of roses and all that. Picture this. They introduce you as if you're a joke, maybe nicknaming you something unkind, loudly mocking you, or talking about a personal story or an issue, or correcting and talking over you in front of others. Oh, dear, it's okay. I know you're a little touched in the head, or something ignorant like that. Sometimes they might say, it was a joke afterwards, but it still leaves you feeling hurt and ashamed. Being embarrassed publicly often feels humiliating. You start worrying before social outings, right? Bracing for what they might say or do this time. It's like being given the side eye from a bully, but it's coming from the person who's supposed to have your back and love you. You might feel lonely in a group, even though you're with someone. That kind of treatment can chip away at your confidence and make you trust your partner a lot less. A lot of advice on respect in relationship points out exactly this behavior. A disrespectful partner will belittle and embarrass you in public with hurtful comments or personal jabs. In a loving relationship, your partner lifts you up, doesn't tear you down. If you notice that this is happening regularly, it sends a message that they don't really care how their words are affecting you, at least not when others are watching. They might be like, oh, you're strong. Come on, you know me. No, it's no excuse. They should understand that it hurts you, you don't like it, and they need to stop. Period. Number 10, they have no respect for your opinion. Now, I'm just be honest with you. If I'm let's say I'm with a girl, girlfriend, or whatever it is, or wife, and I'm out picking, let's say I'm picking a microphone. Chances are she's not going to know which, if 7M, 7MB, well, SM7B Shure mic, which is what I use, from say my other mic or a singing mic or diaphragm, or different mics that you have. Like I have a blue, what's it called again? I can't remember. Blue. Anyway, I have a blue mic, which is actually orange. But they probably don't know the difference in the sound. I say, oh, should I pick this one or pick that one? And oh, pick this one because it's orange. It's like, you don't really know what the purpose of what, like, you know what I mean? So it's not necessarily not respecting it, or maybe if you explain it, then, or I explain the difference, then maybe they say, oh, maybe get this one once they know exactly what they're talking about. But just in general, having no respect for your opinion, that can't work. Anyhow, in a real partnership, real relationship, both voices matter. So if your partner consistently dismisses what you say or acts like your opinion doesn't count, that's a big warning sign. Again, maybe they interrupt you all the time or say things like, you wouldn't understand, or just ignore your idea and do what they want. For example, you might have a plan or an idea, and every time you share it, they shoot it down or roll their eyes. Well, that'll never work. Or they'll move on to another topic whenever you try to bring up something. When this happens, it naturally makes you feel small and unheard. Your perspective, your thoughts, and your feelings all matter less to them, apparently. Over time, you may start doubting yourself or even stop speaking up around them, just to avoid the brush off or the disrespect. Emotionally, this is draining. You might feel disrespected and frustrated, and as if they don't value you as an equal partner. This isn't love. It's the opposite. One relationship advice source is blunt. Ridiculing and devaluing your ideas and making you feel bad about your opinion is one of the clear signs of disrespect in a relationship. No one deserves that. You should be able to say how you feel and have your own views heard. If your partner routinely shuts you down or talks over you, it shows a lack of respect for who you are. All right, I'm going to wrap this one up pretty quickly. Nice, only 25 minutes. So we've just covered signs 6 to 10 of someone not truly loving you. None of these behaviors, secrecy with devices, refusal to merge financing, testing or treating you, others better than you, publicly shaming you or dismissing your opinions are what love looks like. If any of these hit home, trust your feelings. You deserve a partner who trusts you, values you, and builds you up. In part 3, we'll finish the list with 11 to 15, so stay tuned. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Remember, noticing these signs is the first step towards getting the love and respect you deserve. I'll see you next time, okay? Hey, come check out You Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 dogs. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while understand that, listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon.